Voice of Liberia. We say many thanks to you as well for following. Thanks so kindly. We highly appreciate you. You're a Voice of Liberia. Uh, we uh, we we appreciate you for being part of the family. Good morning, folks, and welcome. My name is Harris Billy, saying good morning to every one of you. You know, someone is asking me why I'm excited this morning. No, this is how I am throughout. Yeah, this is what I love doing. So every time when I wake up, I have the strength to come on this radio and speak to you Liberians. This is what I always dream about. This is what I want to serve. This is how I want to contribute to my country as well. So doing it, is an honorable thing. So good morning and welcome to the program. Lots of issues to look at. Let's tell you what we have on our plate of discussion this morning. Where is this thing on our plate of discussion? The Institute for Research and Democratic Development, ARED, has released its legislative performance reports on the Liberian legislature. And part of that report we're going to look at this morning in the program is that ARED has branded the entire legislature as weak and politically dependent. So what that means is that the entire legislature has turned to a total bulldog, that the entire legislature is dependent on their political affiliation and they fail to do what they're supposed to do in the interest of the Liberian people. We're going to look at that report, folks, on the program this morning. And as well, over this theme about all the different reports coming out, the folks from the Muslim community, our Muslim brothers and sisters, have expressed the displeasure in the National Elections Commission in the staffs assigned at various polling prisons, various centers where the biometric voter registration exercise is being held. And according to them, members of their religious group have been denied simultaneously, which means it's happening, continuously, just going. And every day they receive complaints from Muslims, from those of their faith, on grounds that some of the names they are bearing, because the name is Keita, because the name is Kamara, because the name is Sharif, they said they have been denied the right to register. They are Liberians, according to them. And so what we do, we invited them on one of our sisters' program as well on yesterday. They provided evidence, they provided pictorial evidence, they provided, recordings as well, that some of the conversations they held with those staff at the various polling centers, and even Liberians as well called on the platform to testify to that. But this is the thing, folks. We're going to look at the guidelines establishing the biometric voter registration exercise on the program this morning, and as to what are the criteria set for one to obtain a voter card in this country. You see, we must be very fair to the discussion that the fact remains someone doesn't speak English is not should not be a benchmark as to why one can be referred to as a Liberian or the person is not a Liberian. It's not because, for instance, I don't speak English means I'm not a Liberian, right? There are different ways in which I can obtain a nationality. Perhaps I may naturalize myself. I may be a Liberian by birth or by nationality, right? So there are different ways to work out. So not because the person's name is Johnson means they are Liberians. There are Johnsons from the United Kingdom. There are Johnsons from America. There are Johnsons from Nigeria. So you cannot use the surname of a person to determine where they hail from, right? Because they use names are adaptation. Names, people adapt names. So by you adapting names doesn't in a way mean that you are from certain country because of the name you adapt. So the first we're going to look, I'm going to have an honest conversation surrounding that. At 8:30, folks, we tend to do this conversation. We have gathered reports from the state-run University of Liberia that after the whole scene of violence actions across, I'm saying the University of Liberia that resulted into chaos and that situation halted normal academic activities on the university campus. I'm told the student group and the administration has smoked a peace pipe. As we speak, calm has been restored, and the students have agreed to follow the regulations set by the University of Liberia. So we're going to have the student unification party this morning as well. We extended an invitation to them, and so I'm told the chairperson for propaganda of the Student Unification Party will sit on a platform at 8:30. We tend to do it at this, folks, because the thing in Liberia, every time, when something sparkles, that's when you see people running for it. And right after, the essence of providing, the essence of informing people is before, information is before, during, and after. More people are concerned about what will happen. Others are concerned about what is happening. And others are concerned about what has happened after the event has occurred. So there are three ways. So we, as a media institution, remain subjective to our engagements and inform to you about what will happen, what is happening, and what has happened after that action occurred. So this is the part we're going to bring to you this morning on the program. These students who over time have been seen as a troublemakers on the State-run University of Liberia will sit on this platform this morning, tell us why they continue to portray themselves the way the public see them to be, and what has happened, in past times, and the recent dialogue with the administration, what are the outcomes, and how are they committed to the agreement they entered with the administration, because we have history that there are lots of agreements they have entered with the administration, which at the end, I know they tend to disobey that same very agreement they entered with. So we're going to bring them on the show this morning at 8:30, folks. This is our menu for you. Thanks to all of you. Those of you following us who say thanks so kindly for following. Let's acknowledge some of you, those of you watching this morning. Let's acknowledge those of you watching this morning on the program. Yep, it's important we do it, and let's do this thing that is on my word. Anthony Lynch spent bad is watching. Oh my word, this internet won't give me a chance. Oh. But let's bring you this thing. Let's begin, folks, with this report from the Institute of Research, Democratic Development. Remember, ARET is a civil society organization working civil society organization working in Liberia. Over time, they have been part of series that reported on they have released numerous of reports on the performance of the legislature. But this new report coming in, I'll have to read you a few lines from this report. The Institute of Research and Democratic Development, in its legislative performance report, proved both leadership of the legislature is politically and overly influenced by the executive, resulting into imbalances of legislative governance processes and gender structure. The report showed that 74% lawmakers' decisions are for political and executive interest, with only 26 against decision-making process. The findings of the report was made to international partners. ARET Legislative Performance Report, launched in 2009 to promote legislative accountability in Liberia and to monitor the representation, lawmaking, oversight responsibilities of the second branch of government. During the report launch, ARET Executive Director Matthias Yenin stated that the legislature has underperformed in its role and responsibility. He termed the August body's inability to properly represent the underprivileged Liberians as being weak and lack independent decision making. This established our conversation on the first segment, folks. The Institute of Research and Democratic Development, this report is just support. I see this report as a supporting research document to all of what that has been happening in Liberia, to all of what that has been happening, how Liberians perceive the legislature to be under this regime. We use under this regime because we speak to the current happenings. You see, one of the areas I get discouraged every time I want to have a conversation is that when you start the conversation, the folks there, people will tend to tell you that, well, it's not under this government, this thing started, it is something of the past, it started happening long since, and all these kinds of lazy excuses will surface. But I always remind people that when we're having such a conversation, let's focus on the current reality, because we cannot keep going back to bring these kinds of old conversations. It doesn't serve us well. The Institute of Research and Democratic Development, this report, I'm using it to support our argument, to support the discussion in the space, in the corridors of Liberia, in every street corners and marketplaces across the country. This situation, this current happening about the legislature has and continue to affect even the marketers, even the ordinary Liberian who lacks the ability to read and write, still understand that the legislature is being influenced to a higher extent. Today, there are lots of legislations that have been passed only because of some political reason, or because the executive influence the legislature. Remember, just a few months ago, when NAMOT Partners for Democratic Development released another report on the legislature in which they said about 60% of the bills passed under this regime emanated from the executive. It tells you that the Constitution informed us that the roles of the legislature as well is to make laws on behalf of the Liberian people. But if you have about 60% to 70% of the laws currently are passed in this country originated from the executive, it tells you that those charged with the responsibility to make laws on behalf of few Liberians are weak, they are incompetent, and they have swallowed their conscience. This situation is no different today. If you have the conversation with folks there in Nima, if you have a conversation with folks there in Grenjide, they're going to tell you to what extent the inability of those lawmakers to make adequate laws on behalf of them, having been influenced by the executive, is affecting the day-to-day activities. It's affecting their day-to-day activities. Today, Liberians, in some parts of Liberia, the folks there lacks basic access to life. It's because the rights, those that should be on the back of those entities, of those government institutions, and on the back of the government to ensure that the right thing is done and the right things are done, are the ones that are in bed, they are sleeping, their hands are full, they have swallowed their conscience. We call them honorables, but they are horribles. These are bunch of self-seeking individuals. You know it. You know it. You see, the thing about it, we always tell people, By you giving an opportunity to serve, it's a one in a million opportunity. There are lots of Liberians out. They are not part of that legislature. They are qualified. They are more competent than you do. So every time you are given an opportunity to serve, see it as a responsibility to deliver, and and don't feel complacent. Don't feel that you are the best and you think you are the only person qualified to occupy that position. Hell no, you are not qualified. You are not competent than those who are there. It is a trust that people bestowed in you. But someone trusting you doesn't mean that you are the best. It means that amongst everyone, they choose to give it to you. Perhaps you might appear to be first among equals, but it doesn't mean that without you, no one else has what it takes to do it. So if you see that as a challenge, see that as a patriotic duty to those who have called you to serve. But in Liberia, the case is extremely different. Sometimes I wonder, what are these folks when they take to their private times? We have a reflection as to how their actions is affecting the lives of Liberians in this country. How their actions is crippling the democracy of our country. How their actions is taking away from the mouth of Liberians. When the right laws are made, when the right things are done, when they are calling on those government institutions and all those responsible to ensure that the right things are done, trust me, we will continue to experience what we have experienced in this country. Today, you move when you enter in concession areas, concession companies, they are underpaying Liberians, and Liberians are subjected to various sets of maltreatment. It's because those responsible to call on the various companies, concession companies, and tell them these are the laws we have in Liberia, and this is what you are to abide, and you are under obligation to ensure that you provide a better wage for our people in a conducive working environment, are the ones that have sold their pride, they have sold their integrity to these individuals. These are the ones who refer to as honorables. These are the individuals that we sing songs of praises to them. You know why? They have made the situation. That's why I don't blame. The last time I tell someone, I don't blame when I see Liberians, bowing down to lawmakers. The presenting themselves cheap to lawmakers. You know why? The guys are playing smartly. When they enter the system, they make it more complicated. They make the entire country in a state where the only way that the ordinary Liberian will survive unless you go to them begging. That's how they have created the system. So you agree with me that practically every man will find something that he can do to survive by. So those Liberians believe that the only way sometimes they can get $5 and $10 is by you going, to bow before them, to sing praises unto them, to say the best about them, whether they deserve, whether they even have best. History remains doubtful, right? But rather to say the best thing you have to say to them so that they can give you the $5, the $10, the $20. Because why? Those individuals have made the system complicated. They have birthed a lot of bureaucracies, and they have created a way where only them can get for themselves and leave the ordinary Liberians strangulated. So what will happen? Those Liberians end up going to street begging. That's why if you see a lawmaker enter this place, you see thousands, you see hundreds of Liberians will go there. Is it because that person has the popularity? Hey, no. That person don't have popularity. It's because they have made the situation worse and even more challenging for the ordinary Liberian out there. Trust me, if the guys were going to put themselves in the right order, they make the very laws, they make sure that the laws are implemented, they follow up on this, they use their oversight and ensure that the right things are done. Trust me, the system is very smooth, things are running. People won't get time for them. Liberians are individuals that are waiting to work. Liberians are individuals waiting for the right opportunities to be given to them so they can serve. That's how, over the times, I have been made to understand Liberians' eye. But we elect individuals that will come to you with a mind, with a fixed mind. They will come to you with a fixed mind that they want to arrange themselves. Then they portray as if they are the agents of change. They portray themselves as if they are the ones that have all of the answers to your problems. Sometimes you don't examine the individuals. Sometimes you don't know their track record. Sometimes you see them, they will present the best when elections is around. And right after the electoral process, these individuals get back in their wolf clothing and start to show to you their real colors. Today, you enter Liberia. Today, you visit parts of Liberia. You will feel discouraged. There are places in Liberia as we speak that even access to safe drinking water still remain a challenge. There are places in Liberia as we speak, fellow Liberians, that access to safe drinking water still remain a challenge. There are places in Liberia that access to safe drinking water still remain a challenge. This is a recent photo for those of you watching. This is a recent photo that I took just last week when I visited Bon County. That children will have to fetch from this place. This place is used as a source of drinking. Because why? When those that are responsible to ensure that these things are done are the ones that have been compromised, are the ones that are in bed with the executive, are the ones that have compromised their integrity. So you Liberians out there will left to suffer the rest of it. It is so demeaning. It is pathetic. At times you want to take us. You see, listen. Sometimes when we have these kinds of conversations, you want to tie it down to Monserrato. No, get us off Monserrato. I had a time in last week that I visited Bon County, some towns in Bon County. You see, this place is they seem very water that they draw from. This is the upper part of the water. Yeah, this is the upper part of the water, right? And this is where you see these children. After school, they will have to go to this place to fetch water, and this water is used for drinking, is used for other domestic purposes. Yeah, for cooking, for bathing and everything. This is the upper part of this water, for those of you watching. So it's because this is a problem. This is what Liberians are going through. And every time you want to say this thing is happening, that thing is happening. Listen, we were told that there are basic necessities of life that everyone must have. It's food, shelter, and clothing. These are the basic necessities of life. Aside from individuals having that, there's nothing else you will provide to them that will have a direct reflection on their life when these things are not provided. Oh, yes. So if you have the lawmakers that are responsible to make the right laws in the interest of the people, are the ones that have been compromised, are the ones that have sold their integrity, then it lends us to where we are today. Because the first step to a very just society, the first step to a very to a just society requires that laws should be made and those laws should be implemented. So the failure of those laws to be implemented, what we do is that we look upon these lawmakers to call these individuals. They have the power to summon those individuals and ensure that the right things are done. But first, most of the laws, 76% of the legislature decisions that come from the legislature, both houses, the representatives and the senators, 76% of those decisions, according to ARED, is politically motivated. This report support previous reports. The last time we told you about the U.S. Human Rights Report on Liberia, it proves to you that the entire legislature is corrupt, that the legislature is a self-seeking legislature, that those guys are bent on corruption, on corruption to a high extent that they are taking away what should be given to Liberians. What that means is that money is allotted to the healthcare, to improve healthcare services, are the ones taking, and these guys have pocketed those monies. The ones that should be allotted to education, so that children in this country should have standardized education as established by the Constitution. The Constitution provides that each Liberian in this country should have access to quality and standardized education. So funds that should be allotted for the purpose, for that purpose, are the ones that have been confiscated by those individuals. Because why? They enter those houses, both houses, with a fixed mind that they are going there to arrange themselves. That understanding that being a legislature is a servitude. It means you are a slave to the people. It means that at any point in time, you are serving them. Listen, see yourself as a servant. You are not a leader. You are the people are the ones that tell you what to do. You are there acting on their behalf. I've been told, during my elementary days, I have been told that representatives are agents. They are representing a certain group of people. What that means is that you are on an obligation to go and listen, come by, inform the people, what the people say, take it there, and speak on behalf of them. Nothing extra, nothing less. Decisions, when there are decisions to be reached, you come to the people, consult them, say this is what they are saying in there. What can we do as a people? What can we do collectively? And the people come up with their resolution. It is that resolution you're going to take on that decision that is brought for, or on that matter that is brought for discussion. This is how honorable is being used. This is how honorable work with the people. But hell, believe me, there are individuals, there are lawmakers elected since their election up to press. Some of them don't have a standing relationship with the people that elected them. Some of them don't even go back. Some of them don't even have a conversation with the locals. That you send me in at the legislature, we enter, these are things, these are challenges, this is what we are going to. How can we do it? How can we position ourselves? The first thing, once a man enters the legislature, he feels that he owes no one explanation. He feels that he owes no one anything. I mean, he has everything, and there's no reason to come back to sit with the people. There's no reason to come back, to hear from them, to listen from them as to what are the decisions to take and what are the things to do. That's why you said at times you listen to a lawmaker say there's a need to change the color of the Liberian flag. Sometimes some of them say there's a need to change the star in the flag. A whole lot of unnecessary things they brought forth on the floor for discussion. Because even those individuals are unnecessary. Even them, they don't know what they want. They don't know the reason why they are elected. Trust me, most of those lawmakers, I tell you, I challenge you on this platform. Most of those lawmakers, set of them ask why you think the people elected you. Why you think the people elected you. Majority of those lawmakers, up to this time, they haven't understood the reason why they were elected. It's because what? They lack the thinking. They lack. They don't have love for the people. So before taking office, the man has already designed his strategy, designed the way in which he's going to arrange himself. That's why once he enter, the first thing he start to build a house, start to establish his company, various ways to arrange himself. Why those of you that will stay in the queue, stay under the rain, stay under the rain, under the sun, to elect them, are the ones that were left to suffer for the rest of their 6 years. The rest of the 6 years, you will left to suffer the very pains. It's because those guys don't have Liberia at heart. It's because they don't have it at heart. It pains me. When I enter that town in Bon County, I've been to several other areas. You see kids 6, 7 years, 8 years. We have to travel from this stream to the town. It was about 10, 15, 20 minutes walk. And this is where they go every day to fetch water, take it for drinking and for bathing, for cooking, for everything. Are you concerned about the health, the health hazard a place for those children growing up Liberia. How those children will have a very good beginning when they are challenged, when things continue to happen day to day, when their lives is being threatened by a lot of health situations. It's because those responsible to ensure that these things are done at the one is in place. And trust me, some of you, if you are not served, some of you, these things will follow you. Even if you died and go in the great beyond, God will judge you as to we have the opportunity to deliver a better living condition for your people. What did you do? Some of you are Christians. Some of you are Muslims. You want to look at your leaders. Some of you Christians will want to use Jesus. Jesus was a true representation of a representative. He devoted his time. He worked with the people. He listened to the people. He told them, you want to look at Prophet Muhammad. I'm certain this is a case study for those of you that are religious tolerant to have an understanding of what the situation is, how the situation is. And you elect those individuals with an understanding that they will go and speak on behalf of you. You elect those individuals with an understanding that when they get there, things that are not right, the various laws that have been there, that is not being implemented, will be implemented so that you have a voice in Liberia, so that your lives are better up. When these individuals get here, the contract you sign with them before entering, they turn their back on this contract. Because there is an understanding that when you're there, strictly 6 years, no matter what you performed in the interest of the people, what you don't perform, it has something to do with the 6 years. It doesn't affect their 6 years at all. That's why at times we say, I think there is a need we start to follow up on those lawmakers. It hurts a lot that if you are given a responsibility to do certain things, and at the time the people need you to deliver on those responsibilities, you tend not to. On this post-war Liberia, a country like Liberia just from Civil War, we believe that individuals that we ascend to the legislature are those that are selfless, that those that have the country at heart, that they want to establish a system that will be void of corruption, if not 100%, but to a minimum. Corruption will be at a very minimal extent where even corruption will be scarce in our society. We felt that we could elect individuals to the legislature, those who will ensure that the healthcare is standardized, is trusted, the quality of services is rendered so that every part of Liberia, the people will experience access to quality healthcare. We felt at the time that we were electing individuals that will ensure that the quality of our education system is in place so that each and every Liberian child, every child in this country will have access to quality education from their elementary, their primary, up to secondary, and up to senior level, and even tertiary education. We felt that Liberia could be delivered by the individuals we elect to various offices. But the situation continued to change as we move along. As we move along, the situation continued to change. Those folks that have been elected are the ones causing a problem for us in this country, because they are the ones that have the power, that have the oversight, that have the will to ensure that those that are not acting the right way, they are called to order and ensure that the right things are done. These are the folks that have gone in bed. These are the folks that have swallowed their conscience. These are the folks that are only after they are better and left nothing for you Liberians. That's why you have 76% of decisions that have been rendered in the legislature is being influenced politically. It's because everyone wants to rub shoulder with the president. And to do it, you must support, you must protect the interests of the president, whether it's in the interest of Liberians, whether what the executive is saying is in the interest of Liberians, whether or not some of the things that the president will do will affect the lives of Liberians negatively. Those lawmakers don't care. All they after is that when the president takes a phone and calls them, they feel satisfied. Not knowing that they have a power, the power that they have is even more greater. They don't care about that. All they care, trust me, most of these lawmakers, up to this time as we speak, we just wish for a day. Most of them, their prayers, I'm saying their prayers are that the president will just take a phone and call them and say, hey, honorable, how you doing? It's like a dream come true for them. Not understanding that they will stay in the right interest and calling, if deemed that they call the president that this is what you are doing and you need to stand down. How many of those lawmakers who have in the house? How many of those lawmakers who have that's able to stand and say, because of my people, I am not part of this. Because of my people, I'm not doing this. Because of my people, I won't do this. How many of those lawmakers who have in the house? I don't see them. I don't see them. I don't see them. Then you want to take a back. You want to have a reflection. You want to ask yourself, where is the problem? Why are those individuals behaving the way they are? Why are those individuals continue to cause problem for us? Why are those individuals continue to create a situation where we Liberians are suffering from their actions? It's because they lack the leadership ability. It's because they are incompetent. It's because they lack integrity. It's because they fail to prioritize your interest. It has been 5 years running. How many times have you witnessed in that house in plenary, both the Liberian Senate and the House of Representatives, that you listen to a lawmaker that will stand up because of my people, I am not signing to this agreement. Because of my people, I won't be part of this decision. Because of my people, I am not doing this. They won't do it. Because you know why? Every one of them want to portray themselves before President George Weah as if that they are in support of his government. Hey, listen, let me tell you, the way you will be in support of someone is to ensure that the right things are done so that tomorrow you leave, history will judge you and history will judge that person. If you ensure the right things are done, even if at the time it doesn't go well with that person, don't think about it. Because there will come a time that history will remind that person that this individual stand tall. And because of this, this is why the right things were done. And that person will know that, hey, this guy was right. When he said we couldn't do this because it was against the people, he was right. When we said we couldn't do this because it was against what the people want, he was right. How many of those lawmakers will have in the house? They are very scarce. Bunch of better-driven individuals. Bunch of self-seeking individuals. Incompetent. Lacks the leadership ability. Integrity is far away. Integrity is far away from them. Because they have sold their conscience. They have sold their integrity to these investors, to these foreign nationals, to the executive branch of government, to the president. Some of them have tied themselves to the party politics. That even if the decision is about to be rendered will affect their constituents, they don't care. They don't care because they succumb to the amanda they are way to start of politics and not in the interest of the people they represent. This is what is happening. This is what continues to happen in Liberia. This is why you see from in times with our number, you see these things continue to happen. Liberians on now and before will continue to experience the various forms of marginalization that they go through. That today you leave from here, you enter a bombing county, you leave from here into Bapolu, the situation with people, the day-to-day activities, the lives of Liberians is at a very, very, very challenging moment. Fellow Liberians, we need to think outside the box. I initiated this conversation because it is important, especially at the time we are preparing for elections. It is time that we vote most of those individuals out. It is time that we tell them that you don't deserve our vote. And you want to believe me that most of those individuals don't deserve their vote. Most of those individuals don't deserve their vote. Some of them are incompetent. Some of them, some of them, that is majority of them. If you find lawmakers in a house that stand for the truth, that stand in the interest of the people, trust me, out of 103 lawmakers, they don't pass 5. Those that have the country at heart, those that have the citizenry at heart, those that can lay down everything in defense of you, those that are able to give every offer, those that are able to let everything go because they want to protect your interests. They are not, trust me, they don't pass 5. These are the individuals we continue to elect. Fellow Liberians, the time is now. It is important you voice your anger at the ballot box than never. Your mistake you made this election will serve the next 6 years. This is why you need to have a reflection. The mistake you made this time, this election, will serve you the next 6 years. The mistake you made to elect those wrong individuals, those incompetent, those better-driven individuals, will serve for the next 6 years. The next 6 years, your children will continue to struggle to have access to quality education. The mistake you made will serve for the next 6 years that your women and children, the pregnant women, children, will struggle to have quality health care because of the decision you will make this election. It is important that we have a reflection. It is important that we re-examine our decision. We re-examine our support to most of those individuals. Some of them, after 5-6 years, it is of recent they started to visit county, say they put on quick impact projects because they believe the election is coming, and that's how they can convince you. The decision is accept those offers and pay them at the ballot box for the 5 to 6 years they wasted when they should have been in your defense, when they should be there for you, making sure that the right things are done. And it's time you pay them. Like we said, we're going to take calls on this development at 8:30. We anticipate to have our guest. We anticipate to have our guest on the platform. Like we said, we're going to have the Student Unification Party of the campus-based Student Unification Party at the University of Liberia. And, of course, we want to talk basically on some developments surrounding that. So it's about time we take calls on this matter. 0770907907907, 08809079070, 07709079070, 08809079007. Take a few calls up to 8:30. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Secretary. Good morning to the voice of Liberia family. Good morning to my fellow Liberians on Radio Land this morning.
Thank you. Let's hear you quickly.
Thank you very much for the opportunity afforded me to speak to my fellow Liberians so that we can consult to vote wisely. Okay, by the way, of introduction, I'm Efanso A.F. Kamara, calling from District number 10 to be precise. I joined the conversation for my resident this morning, Transformer Community. You had just said all Siku. And sometimes when we listen to your analysis, sometimes it may not feel comfortable. But our Liberians, all of those things you people are saying, I don't know what people we are. Because Liberia can make a critical decision. Let them live with some of all. Let it tell people, 4 legislators, along with our boss, they all will be retired massively and politically, constitutionally, democratically, we are going to beat them to the power pass because they are not doing well for the Liberian people. If you observe for 2018, January 22nd, when John Manneh were inaugurated, the statement he made, he said, material Liberia will never be used as spectators to their own economy. But today we are out of the stadium. You saw they go down, Bafana, pick up because we're not on the field. We're outside of the field, cheering by Because they are all criminals.
Thank you.
For
We
Saturday morning.
talk to this person. More calls coming in 0770907907 0880907 are the numbers we take for calls. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. Let's hear you.
My name is T. Momo Masakwe, and I'm calling you from down Rana Street, Trenchtown Coconut Plantation Community.
Go ahead, Momo.
Thank you very much this morning for the topics on the discussion. And firstly, let me say thank you to the Secretary General of ADRED. And I also want to extend an appreciation to the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Dr. Barbara Chima and Dr. Alpha Jones, who were able, among the various representatives, to school aid. And I think you said it all. Our lawmakers are the same people that are putting suffering on us. And come October 10, I think the Liberian people have resolved to make conscious decisions so as to vote these people out. Because we cannot continue to gamble our nation with incompetent people who will use words to get power and turn their action. So we will vote them out come October 10. Thank you.
Thanks very kind for making your input. 07709079007 08809079007 are the numbers. We'll take more of your calls on this development. Coming shortly, we're urging our guest on the program. Like we said, 0770907907 0880907 are the numbers. We continue to say this, and we won't stop. We remain unbending, and we will ensure that we have these kinds of conversation terms with that number. It is important that we establish these kinds of conversation to inform Liberians, because there will come a time you say, let's talk to this person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, let's hear you.
This is Omen Dekere in a corporate in Mentali.
Thank you.
My children, when our president went to Nimba, I think you can remember, he said, book when English can build a country with we concern about now. I realize that that's true the puppet talk. Because look at you now there. Have you ever seen the executive control house? Those days, I'm 75 years. Those days, people that go to Tuwe, Tamatela, women wife from Grand Gile, and Soko from Nima, those senators, the other senator woman from Bon County, those people, when they make decisions, But some of those people over there, you just sit down over there. Who to shine the light there? My own man, like, yeah. I try to anyone in your satisfied, what 1,000 people suffering now, and then you don't know, but what we know, you must tell your own, Mr. Life, my life. You're not saying you. Thank you.
Thank you. And then he made a point 0770-907-907 088-0907-907. That is the numbers. We'll take more of a calls, like we said, on this development. Folks is right here for you this person. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good morning. For the second time around, a Council Camara for the same District 10. I want to say we all stood in the gap for 2005 to 2017. I don't think there is a Liberian that voted for Liberia that this man loved this country at heart. I'm 32 years. I always say an example. As I'm 32 years, since I've been in Liberia, I've never seen bad governance, incompetent government as compared to Becky Bear administration at this time. So there's no also that it's possible that we proceeding now to 2023 election authority. Do you think that Joey can change the dynamic for now to authority says here? Even Jesus Christ and Nazareth cannot change the situation. Only the great can change that situation. And the situation bound to change all the region and it's not blended. Who will transform this country to the level?
Thank you. We are not selling any political institution. You want to discuss come and pay for the airtime. We'll agree with you, but we just want you to make an import. 0770907907907 08809079007. Take one or two more calls on this developmental call your day. We go for a break. Once we return, we're urging our guest. We'll begin the conversation, folks. Lots of issues we're going to talk about. Like we told you, as well, we are gathering reports. Lots of reports. We talked to this person from this end. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, this is Gabriel calling from District No.
Go ahead.
Yeah, man. So, I don't normally call on talk shows, but I think you said it all. So I think the best way to help Liberia and Liberians is to get a new government because, I mean, the current government, we already know what's up.
Indeed, Gabriel, thank you for making your saying. I'll take more calls right here, 077907907 08809079007. Dr. This person, good morning.
Good morning.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, this is Bama Best Kama from Banjo Oro.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Are you getting me?
Go ahead, my brother, you live.
So for me, I follow your discussion. I want to tell you thank you. But, the journalists are in electronic media in Liberia. You people are doing well. But we Liberians, we do not really listen. My brother, we don't really listen. And we don't even know how to even pick our leaders. So we are just looking up to God. All of the discussion you people are doing on air monitor, all of the radio stations, I mean, the people will still go back again and make the same mistake. But we that can go in the poor community, we know what the people are saying in the community. The people are not even showing concern that, yes, they are suffering. Things are not in total order. Whether their children are going to school, teachers are in the classroom, whether there are jobs and other things in the blood cleaning the hospital, nothing like that. But brother, could you just imagine all of the 103 lawmakers that we have, my brother? Majority feel majority are in the interest of the executive. That shows that there is a serious corruption at the legislature.
Go ahead, my brother. Go ahead. Sorry, it seems like we lost that call. We take this person. We take more of your calls. 0770907. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning. Live. Let's hear you.
Thank you very much. This is Bobby Abu Meska. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, live.
Yeah, thank you. This is Bobby Abu Meska.
Go ahead,
I phoned this morning for the office of Summerfield Jacob District 6 SD Couple Group. But let me appreciate you guys this morning for the topic of the discussion. You guys are really demonstrating love for country, and your love for country is beyond phenomenal. Oh, you see, you guys said it all about our leaders. It is time for the voters to look in the direction that you guys have spoken for not too long. Because all of our leaders, when they come to look at the Western culture deal, what does the people stand of Bomi County to benefit from the resources? Few group of lawmakers or leaders or executives in this country sat down there and signed book of agreement or because of
own selfish interest because they want it for themselves, but they don't care for the country that they opportune. They have the privilege over thousands of Liberians. You have the privilege to represent them. You are not looking at the privilege. You are undermining the privilege and the trust the Liberian people took to give you. Today, that is why our country has died perpetually when it comes to development. Some of our leaders take that better and put it into investor hands. Go to the very Lebanese stores. When you start in the book and say, what your leader can do, what they can do, they abuse Liberian every day because investors are living, our leaders are living in the pocket of investors. What do you get a country? A lawmaker going to invest for stress car every Saturday or for full money. How will you treat your country like that? This guy are disingenuous to the country. They are disingenuous to themselves. But it's just level Liberia. If they will listen to many journalists who can analyze who are there for the country, who want to see good things, because those that have traveled over the years want to see Liberia, the audience will properly or not develop. It please some of our heart and it please those good journalists heart. So that is the reason why some of you guys don't take the airway. You guys can speak the truth. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you. We talk to this person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. This is Gabriel Doe, and I'm calling from Carway.
Go ahead, Gabriel.
Okay, thank you. My brother, the bad leadership in the country are always suffer, and we, the supporter of the leader, that we the one creating our own problem to be friends. When you behind a leader,
Go ahead, my brother, live.
Okay, when you're behind a leader, and you feel that maybe you can get your little daily bread, and whatever will not be benefit, you don't care about it. You always support it. I really doing the wrong thing, you always support it. I was living young to grow. Yeah, enter the 2017. But to be friends enter the country, my brother, I'm not seeing good leader in the country to be friends. I want my friend to tell me in Abidjan that your country has everything, but the leadership in your country is very bad. That always suffer in your country. And what's happening now? And tell me, they will always suffer. Thank you, man.
Thank you. We talk to this person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Third time around, this is Alfonso Kamara.
Alfonso, just make a quick import.
Yeah,
I won't take you
have no
again.
contribution to make to our society when it comes to societal issues as Liberians. We still have a Liberianization because Liberia is what we have. I think when the change we are hearing of, we cannot get a change no more for Unity Party. They served this country for 12 years. We don't see no impact, no impartation. Like to say, my father, all here for local country. He run this country for 42 years. He has no elementary school in our own country, local country. What you ask them, we can use to say, but they can change or transform the society now. And CDC has failed on massively, definitely. The only option, the only opportunity.
Okay, thank you. And he, like I told you, Alfonso won't take you any longer. 0770 907 907. I think it's simple, Alfonso. If you feel that coming is best suited, and perhaps you want to sell the agenda, come to Voice Liberia, come over, meet our business of AP, buy your airtime, and we sit on the platform, quiz you all of the necessary questions. You're going to have the whole length of time to provide. But there is one, if you call, just make your input and be done. Not you're going to use this platform to sell to set the agenda of comments. Obviously, we won't tolerate that. 0770907907 0880907907. Focus stay more calls on this development. It's very important that we remind you and continue to say to you that one of the reasons why Liberia continues to be the way it is because of those we elect, especially from the legislature. The president is just one person. The president is just a single individual. You have 103 individuals that have the responsibility to sit and make decisions and make laws that will impact laws that the executive is on obligation to follow. So how is it possible that 103 individuals have sold their conscience to just an individual? It tells you that those individuals, those lawmakers, lacks everything. That's why I don't refer to them as honorables. I don't mean disrespect. but I don't refer to them as honorables because my understanding, my thoughts have made has led me in that to be an honorable, you must do things that is honorably received. Are Liberians satisfied with those individuals? Are Liberians accepting the decisions those individuals make? Are their impacts, are the decisions that they render positively impacting the lives of Liberians who say no? So how can such an individual be called an honorable? Hey, I don't refer to them as honorable. They are horribles. I meant what I say. With the more of a calls, folks, 0770 0770907907 08809079007. We'll take one or two more calls on this development. Go for a break. Telecel Liberia is our sponsor. We will take Telecel very shortly. Us being on the internet is because of Telecel. I'm gonna go for this break. When we return, we continue the discussion, folks. Where is this thing? Telecel Liberia is our sponsor. We take this break. To be right back.
With slow internet, do you want super fast and affordable internet? Telecel Liberia is here to provide all your internet service needs. The internet is moving at a fast pace, and only super fast internet speed can help you keep up. At Telecel, our internet packages are divided into distinct categories: Mega, Optimal, Premium, Elite, and Big Business that suits kids, universities, schools, hotels, beaches, homes, offices, urban areas, and much more. Anything is possible with Telecel Liberia. Get your own streaming box for Netflix, Amazon Prime, Showmax, and more. At Telecel, our amazing 24-hour customer service is there to help you with all your needs. Telecel Liberia, super fast speed, 24 hours technical support team, the best broadband and fiber optic internet service in Liberia. For more information, please call 0770-399-399 or 0881-399-399. Or stop by our office on 3rd Street Syncor, opposite the Carter Center and GLZ building. Visit our website, telecelliberia.com. Email us at info@telecelliberia.com. Telecel Liberia, the best internet service provider, is here for you. Telecel Liberia, connecting the unconnected. I want to Are you tired with slow internet? Do you want super fast and affordable internet? Telecel Liberia is here to provide all your internet service needs. The internet is moving at a fast pace, and only super fast internet speed can help you keep up. At Telecel, our internet packages are divided into distinct categories: Mega, Optimal, Premium, Elite, and Big Business that suits kids, universities, schools, hotels, beaches, homes, offices, urban areas, and much more. Anything is possible with Telecel Liberia. Get your own streaming box for Netflix, Amazon Prime, Showmax, and more. At Telecel, our amazing 24-hour customer service is there to help you with all your needs. Telecel Liberia, super fast speed, 24 hours technical support team, the best broadband and fiber optic internet service in Liberia. For more information, please call 0770-399-399 or 0881-399-399. Or stop by our office on 3rd Street Syncor, opposite the Carter Center and GLZ building. Visit our website, telecelliberia.com. Email us at info@telecelliberia.com. Telecel Liberia, the best internet service provider, is here for you. Telecel Liberia, connecting the unconnected.
I want to flex my love.
Indeed, Telecel Liberia is Telecel Liberia has sort of the solutions. In terms of the internet need. I stopped by at Telecel Liberia on 10th Street, opposite the GLZ building there, where you meet all of your internet needs. For those of you who want super fast speed internet, here at Voice of Liberia, if you see the quality of our services in terms of the internet, is because of Telecel. We encourage you as well to stop by on 10th Street and do business with them. Trust me, you won't regret. Whether for home, for school, at your office, for your private use or whatever the occasion might be, we encourage you to use Telecel for your internet needs. Welcome back, folks. Like we said, I'm told our guests should be here, but due to one or two constraints, especially with the traffic, they are pressed. They are pressed, but according to them, they're making our ways by our calls to be on the platform. We hope we can have them and to have the discussion. But let's run you through, like we said, the Muslim community of Liberia. You see, I love to begin the discussion not attaching Muslim to the conversation, because the issue about religion, about ethnicity, is a serious threat to any democracy, and Liberia is of no exception. We have seen history has reminded us that if tribalism, religious intolerance, tribal indiscipline start to persist in a democracy, it's very dangerous. It has the propensity, it has the proclivity, and it has what it takes to render that democracy into chaos. There are accounts upon accounts, there are evidence upon evidence that prove that. There are historical facts that demonstrates that ethnicity, tribal indiscipline, religious intolerance have led great democracy to fall, have strangled the democracy of great country. In Liberia, after 14 years of senseless war, we have established ourselves that we see everyone to be a Liberian. You are a Muslim, it doesn't matter. You are a Christian, it doesn't matter. You are a Gio, you are a Kran, you are a Gola, you are a Va, it doesn't matter. We see everyone as a Liberian. That's the country, that is the country we are building as we speak. We are not there, we are getting there. But while we are on that journey, it is important that we remind ourselves that if we start to work on a conversation that you are not this person, you are not that person. In fact, the way you appear, it demonstrates that you are this way, you are that way. When these kinds of conversations start, it's not good. It is important that we discourage them. We say this to lead us to our conversation, folks. There are multiple reports. We have had time to witness one or two of those happenings. I don't know. I can confirm as to whether the way it happened in some parts of Mosurado, where this biometric voter registration exercise is being conducted, that's how it happened across the 4 counties where the first phase is being rolled out. Like I have said repeatedly, the mistakes, the challenges from this the first phase of the biometric voter registration exercise should be a lessened period for the rest of the other phases. That the National Elections Commission will take note of the happenings from the first phase, and so as to establish the remaining phases. Now, the lesson learned from the first phase, like our science has led us to know that the beginning process, the beginning phase of everything is challenging. There are lots of things we roll out. Perhaps dissatisfaction might be higher than the expectations. The expectations of people might be dashed at a certain point in time in terms of the way they thought, the way they viewed, the way they understood the process could have been. This is happening exactly with the first phase of the biometric voter registration exercise. But it doesn't in any way establish the fact that certain Liberians should be denied the right because he or she bears a specific religious belief. It doesn't establish the fact that this individual should be denied because of the ethnicity. It doesn't establish the fact that this person should be denied the right to participate in the process because of the name they bear. I have come to understand that names are adapted. I may be a Gola person, for instance, and I adopt a Nigerian name. It doesn't in a way speak to the fact that I'm not Liberian. I may be a Gio person and I adopt a Japanese name, for instance. It doesn't in a way establish the fact that I am not all Liberian. Nope. It tells that my love for that name or my love for that country, or I chose to adapt that name for so many reasons. Yeah. So you cannot use that as a benchmark as to why certain individuals should be disallowed from a specific project because he or she holds this thing, holds this name, or holds this belief, or because they are from this ethnic background. Listen, let's establish this conversation. A person may be a fuller person. In all certainty, in all truthfulness, the 16 tribes of Liberia, we don't have the fuller grouped forming part of the 16 tribes of Liberia. That for sure we must say for the record. But again, it doesn't take away the fact that a fuller man can be a citizen of Liberia. Yep. Because citizenship are given in so many ways. It may be by birth, it may be by nationality. A fuller man may travel from wherever he or she, wherever he came from. He entered Liberia, established in Liberia, and born in Liberia. That child that is born automatically becomes a citizen of Liberia up until that child is 18 years of age and decide as to which country they want to give the nationality. Whether they want to return to their fatherland to give, to be a citizen of that country, or they want to remain to their birthplace. That it has been established. These are things we must take into consideration. A Mandingo man, who's of course Mandingo is part of the 16 ethnic group of Liberia, may enter in Guinea, settle there, and born his children. Upon becoming 18 years of age, that child decides as to whether he or she wants to be a citizen of Guinea or want to return to his fatherland and be a citizen of Liberia. The decision rests on the shoulder of that individual. So, in all fairness, there are a lot of concerns that are coming up from this well-mentioned voter registration process. The National Elections Commission has said and repeatedly said that what qualifies a person to obtain the biometric voter registration card is that that individual must be a Liberian. Now, if there are times of which that person's nationality is being questioned, they must be made to provide documents to prove that they are Liberians. Perhaps that individual must possess a valid passport that proves that they are Liberian. That person must provide their national identification card that established them to be a Liberian, or that person must provide a birth certificate and all other required documents. That has been established. So in an instance where Harris Bailey went to a center to register, and perhaps the NEC staff at that center see and perhaps questions my nationality and wants to ask me further questions, I am subjected to answer all of the questions that will be asked. So if the person asks me to provide documents to substantiate my claims, my section that I am a Liberian, which of course in every given society they will do, it is my right as a citizen to provide those documents. Perhaps I may give my national ID card, my passport, or my birth certificate, or like the Elections Commission went on further to say, you must call the head of your community to testify that you are a resident or a Liberian or whatever the case might be. I think that applies to perhaps if whether you live in that community or not is being questioned, that's when the community leader comes in. But you should be able, right? You should be able to provide all of the necessary documents in an instance where you've been asked. Fellow Liberians, we say this to establish our conversations. There are lots of complaints we continue to receive. Some of them we have done our independent investigation on 2 separate occasions. Like I said, I've been to 2 different areas I was called upon, and when I got there, sometimes I had to intervene. If in a conversation between me and the NEC staff, it established that individual to register. Because in all fairness, a person cannot obtain a passport, a Liberian passport. Like one of the cases I was on the scene, a gentleman bears the name Keita. He is not fluent. His accent, his Liberian accent is not that much as it ought to be. And his argument was, I am a Liberian. At age 12, 13, I was born here. I grew up in Liberia. At age 12, 13, I have to travel to my motherland in Guinea, because his mother's from Guinea, his father's from Liberia. And I had to travel in Guinea. I spent lots of time there. Over 20 years I spent in Guinea. And afterwards, I returned some part of 2012, some part of 2013, 2014. I returned after the heat of the Ebola. I returned in Liberia, and that's how, since then, I've been in Liberia. And there was a lot of things I've been involved into. I have all of what it takes. The NEC staff position was, you cannot register because I'm still doubtful until you provide your document. He went forward, returned home, brought all of his documents. The next day when he was going, he called me, and I went on the scene as well. He presented all of the documents, his passport. He had a passport that bear a Liberian nationality. He has a voter registration card, a previous voter registration card. And to some extent, he has even presented a citizen ID card. Listen, this gentleman was still denied. And this NEC staff justification was, he's still not satisfied because of his accent. The way he speaks means he's a Liberian. I'm saying he's not a Liberian. Listen, a person's accent doesn't determine their nationality. At times it does, but it doesn't even question that because you speak like an American means you're an American citizen. There are Liberians that reside in America, and their accent has changed to a greater extent. Today you have a conversation with them, it sound like the real American, right? But it doesn't take away the fact that they are not Liberians. It doesn't establish them to be an American citizen because of the way they speak. So the way someone speaks or the way someone appears doesn't in any way makes them to be a citizen of a country or not a citizen of a country. The law says you are a citizen by birth or by nationality. This is where the process has reached. So folks of the Muslim community has raised in the land. The last time I was in district number 2, where a similar situation was observed, it resulted into serious outbursts to an extent where hurricanes of the National Elections Commission had to intervene and re-emphasize the elections position that in an instance where a person's nationality has been denied, the person must provide all of the documents needed. And once those documents are provided, the person has the right to register. We are saying this because there are other parts of Liberia. There are other parts of Liberia. You see, at the early stage, we said to you people that this process will be challenging because if you remember, there are times when the National Identification Registry, this thing came out that they were issuing national citizen ID card to foreigners, right? When that issue came, the problem originated from the National Elections, that's the National Identification Registry. And we want to say this. Everything that will happen as to whether folks that are not Liberians that are registering, they all begin from the National Identification Registry when they were issuing citizen ID card to non-Liberians. You know what it does? When a person obtains a citizen card, it easily serves them the right to obtain a vote, or birth certificate. When they obtain a birth certificate, it easily serves them the right to obtain a passport. When they have a passport, Trust me, once you have a passport bearing nationality Liberian, you have your birth certificate Liberian, you have a citizen ID card. What else do that? What else is needed? That person might tell you, I'm a Liberian by birth, and I had to travel. I spent some time out of the country, and I'm back. Here are my documents that prove that I'm a Liberian. You are on obligation to register that person, because when we say it every time on this radio that if the system is being infiltrated, it has a lot of negative effects. Some of you feel that we are against government. Some of you feel that we are against the system. We are not against the system. We saw this coming from a long time. We saw this coming. We knew there would be a time in Liberia when these situations will confront us and we'll be under obligation to abide by them. What are these accounts that are coming up? What are those individuals? Are Liberians by birth or by nationality, or what are they infiltrated the system at the time? This is where we are. We are on obligation. You are on obligation to register them. For this, we must be very clear to it. You are on obligation to register them. Because at the time when you needed to do the right things, these things weren't done. We say this, that when you give opportunity to serve, remember that what you will do will either affect society positively or negatively. Once you obtain a national ID card, it is easier for you to obtain a birth certificate. It makes it more easier to obtain a Liberian passport. So if a person has a Liberian passport, he or she has a birth certificate, and same person has a national identification card, why must you stop them from registering? Even if that person is not a Liberian, even if that person is a Nigerian, even if that person is a Ghanaian, they have the right to register, because the system at the time was opened and they managed their way to get all of the required documents, because they knew a time that this would come and they will want to participate, they want to make decisions, even at the time they don't have the right to do so. But you gave them it. You open the system. You allow them to make their way. You allow them to merry-make. You allow them to walk and to manage their way in the system and pass through. It is now that you want to start at this crucial point. Listen, elections are very crucial. During elections, there are a lot of things that play out. During elections, politicians use situations to perhaps threaten the process, to perhaps discourage public interest in the process, or perhaps, want to do things that will cast a doubt on the entire process. When these things start to happen, when these different occurrences start to unfold, it is important that those responsible come in and take siege of the matter. That's what I say. If I'm a leader in this country, most of these things will happen, because I will be a leader that will act even before the situation is about to happen. I will be a leader that is far-sighted, that will see beyond the happenings. At the time when the National Identification Registry was issuing national identification cards, citizen ID card, to non-Liberians, we flagged this issue. We flagged the issue. It took some 2-3 months before the commission even began to act on the process. It took 2-3 months before the election commission, the identification registry began to act on the process. And so it tells you as to what are the effects when these things happen. Fellow Liberians, it will continue to persist until the right systems are put in place. It will continue to exist until the right system is being put in place. And so that's why we have said repeatedly that we need a time where those that are responsible must ensure that the right things are done. But we say this thing, we say it repeatedly, and things are not done. So tell me, at the time when you are issuing the citizen card to non-Liberians, you are not thinking that a time will come that they will use the same very card and claimed legitimacy and claimed that they are Liberians? Oh yes, a time like this will come, and this is the time we are experiencing. So in all fairness, we must say that the Elections Commission has informed Liberians that the process is for Liberian. And in an instance where a person nationality is questioned, that person is made to provide documents to substantiate that they are Liberians. And once those documents are provided, you are under obligation to register them. So registration should not be tied to the person's ethnicity, or perhaps they are not Liberians, or they are from certain religious beliefs, or because of their surname, because you are Kamara, because you are Keita, because you are this person, means you are not a Liberian. You are not a Liberian. We have to discourage that. That needs to be discouraged. Until we can do that, this process, trust me, the first step towards a successful election begins with the voter registration exercise. What that means is that until we can have a successful voter registration, if there are irregularities, if there are dissatisfactions ensuing at this early stage, it tells as to what extent how the election process will be as we move along. But folks, we did this in passing, like we said, because our guest had informed us earlier that due to traffic congestion and what have you, it could be a little bit late in time, and this is where we are. We would go for this very short break to just do a little bit of adjustment, especially with our light fee. To be right back, we take Teleshare as our sponsor on the platform while we go for this very, very short break to be back.
Are you tired with slow internet? Do you want super fast and affordable internet? Telecel Liberia is here to provide all your internet service needs. The internet is moving at a fast pace, and only super fast internet speed can help you keep up. At Telecel, our internet packages are divided into distinct categories: Mega, Optimal, Premium, Elite, and Big Business that suits kids, universities, schools, hotels, beaches, homes, offices, urban areas, and much more. Anything is possible with Telecel Liberia. Get your own streaming box for Netflix, Amazon Prime, Showmax, and more. At Telecel, our amazing 24-hour customer service is there to help you with all your needs. Telecel Liberia, super fast speed, 24 hours technical support team, the best broadband and fiber optic internet service in Liberia. For more information, please call 0770-399-399 or 0881-399-399. Or stop by our office on 3rd Street, Syncor, opposite the Carter Center and GLZ building. Visit our website, telecelliberia.com. Email us at info@telecelliberia.com. Telecel Liberia, the best internet service provider, is here for you. Telecel Liberia, connecting the unconnected.
I want to flex my love. I want to impress.
Are you tired with slow internet? Do you want super fast and affordable internet? Telecel Liberia is here to provide all your internet service needs. The internet is moving at a fast pace, and only super fast internet speed can help you keep up. At Telecel, our internet packages are divided into distinct categories: Mega, Optimal, Premium, Elite, and Big Business that suits kids, universities, schools, hotels, beaches, homes, offices, urban areas, and much more. Anything is possible with Telecel Liberia. Get your own streaming box for Netflix, Amazon Prime, Showmax, and more. At Telecel, our amazing 24-hour customer service is there to help you with all your needs. Telecel Liberia, super fast speed, 24 hours technical support team, the best broadband and fiber optic internet service in Liberia. For more information, please call 0770-399-399 or 0881-399-399. Or stop by our office on 3rd Street, Syncor, opposite the Carter Center and GLZ building. Visit our website, telecelliberia.com. Email us at info@telecelliberia.com. Telecel Liberia, the best internet service provider, is here for you. Telecel Liberia. Connect.
Today, Telecel Liberia is our sponsor. You got it right there. do business with Telecel and you will regret. Yeah, our sponsor. All of your internet needs will be resolved. Folks, like we said, we announced to you earlier, we have, of course, the Student Unification Party of the state-run University of Liberia. Remember, there are lots of concerns from the campus in recent times. Lots of activities, student activities, some of which is or was uncalled for as we speak, and there are a lot of criticism from the public. Like we said, as a media institution, we are more concerned when situation is about to happen. We report to Liberians. When it's happening, we report, and after it happened, we also inform you as the outcome of those happenings. So we have, of course, the membership chairperson of the Student Unification Party, Augustine F. Taylor. I'm told there were ought to be two persons, but yet he appeared. Would love to say good morning and welcome to Voice of Liberia.
Well, good morning, Brother Harris, and let me say good morning to the masses of the Liberian people, the courageous masses of the Liberian people who voted George Weah to bring about transformation in their material condition. But unfortunately, after 5 years, almost concluding 6 years, there have been no improvement in the material condition of the people. And so, my name is Augustine F. Taylor Jr., and I'm the chairman on the Bureau of Membership, Mobilization, and Recruitment of the 31st Central Committee and Politburo Vanga Student Unification Party. And as tradition dictates, permit me to acknowledge the presence of the most powerful man on the campuses of the University of Liberia, that is Chairman Mustafa Nkane, who granted me the authority to sit on your platform this morning. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you. Firstly, you want to apologize to the audience for coming late.
Yeah, so we also like to apologize to the audience for being late. It was due to serious traffic congestion. Coming from Liberia is very much difficult. But again, we apologize.
And hey, thank you. How has the Student Unification Party been in recent times?
Well, the Student Unification Party is on course, like we have always said. The Student Unification Party remains committed to our historical mandate, that is agitating for the downtrodden masses of the Liberian people to ensure that there is improvement in their living condition. And so the Student Unification Party, since October 1970, has not failed on that historical mandate, whether it was the oligarchical regime of President William V. Stutman, whether it was Tobo, whether it was Doe, Taylor, and Salif, and currently President Weah. The Student Unification Party remains very much committed to executing her historical mandate and tax.
I believe at times Liberians are left in a state of pandemonium, or perhaps, if not pandemonium for the lack of better words, in a state of confusion in their mind. When you mention the Student Unification Party, at a certain point in time you sound like a political group. At a certain point in time you sound like an advocacy group. At a certain point in time, you want to be like just a campus-based institution. What exactly are you? I mean, in terms of how can you be described?
Well, the Student Unification Party can be described as a revolutionary institution that is committed to agitating or championing the cause of the downtrodden masses of the Liberian people. So, when people tend to get confused when they hear the name of the Student Unification Party, it is especially those that we refer to as reactionaries. It is the reactionaries that got confused whenever the name of the Student Unification Party is mentioned. Because the reason is that SUP as an institution has a very clear agenda, the masses. And our ideology is massocracy. And so therefore, if you go against the masses, it means that SUP will come in. And in that process, those who preside over the resources of the state, as well as the sycophants and bootlickers, when the Student Unification Party try to engage, they feel threatened. And it's on a basis that they carry around misinformation and disinformation to the masses of the Liberian people.
How trustworthy are you?
The Student Unification Party is very trustworthy. It is an independent.
At times, people see you to just be an opposition collaborator, in a sense where you just want to go against every government that's sent to power. And because of that, people see you to be an opposition collaborator.
Well, it is quite unfortunate that people would think that the Student Unification Party is an opposition group. But we want to register on your platform that the Student Unification Party is an independent revolutionary party, a party that is committed to struggling, like I said, for the transformation of the Liberian people. And so we must explain clearly the role of the Student Unification Party.
And that's exactly what we want you to provide.
So the Student Unification Party came into formation as a result of the contradiction that permeated the corridor of our country. If you can retrospect, prior to the 1970s, the ordinary masses, the sons and daughters of the masses, were not allowed to attend the state-run university on your God-given name. To attend the University of Liberia, you must have taken one of the name of the elites. Our parents used to work on the plantations of the elites, yet they did not have access to better education, they did not have access to better health care and other social services. It was on the basis of these contradictions that necessitated the formation of the Student Unification Party with a very clear mandate: social justice, academic freedom, and peace. When we talk about social justice, we are talking about access to better health care, we are talking about access to better education, access to good road connectivity. And so, regardless of who you are or where you come from, once you are a government and you make commitment to the Liberian people that you are coming to ensure that you change the material condition, if you fail to do that, it means that you have the Student Unification Party to contend with.
How do you carry on the advocacies? Many times people see you, you are in a violent mode, you are in a distress. I mean, the way you portray yourself in a public, at times, some of these things you outlined, perhaps for society to function, the needs that society needs such a group that be able to checkmate individuals, government, and tell them that this is the right thing to do. But one of the disappointment about from the public is that the way you carry on your advocacies at times it is actually uncalled for. I mean, how you as a group carry on your advocacies?
Well, so it is important that we inform the Liberian people that SUP is a very peaceful institution. And it is clearly outlined in our manifesto. I talk about social justice, academic freedom, and peace. So the Student Unification Party is one of the most peaceful institutions in this republic.
How do you defend that?
Because
well, many times we see you involved in a lot of violent actions.
Now we are getting there. So before the Student Unification Party engages into protests or engages into civil disobedience, whatever you describe it, there are diplomatic channels that the Student Unification Party can use. The first thing is that let's take it at the campus of the University of Liberia, campus 6. So if there is an issue confronting the students that have to do with, let's say, the limitation of buses on the campus, what the Student Unification Party does is that they engage the administration, inform them that the buses that are available for students are very limited, and so there is a need that more buses are brought on campus to easily commute students. And the Student Unification Party does that through communication. We write our official communication, we present it to the university authority, we see some of the stakeholders within the country. But it is quite unfortunate that in this country, people don't tend to listen to concerned people.
Before you move forward, I want to hold you there. Does the Student Unification Party believes in diplomacy?
Of course, the Student Unification Party believes in diplomacy.
How do you justify that? Because believing in diplomacy is about you understand that diplomacy is time. At times it take a long time for something to happen. You have to go through the right channels. Some of the discussions we have to initiate. I mean, from the office of the president, reaching down to those various departments responsible. But sometimes you will be informing the administration that we need buses and giving them ultimatum over your communication to them. Why, if you give them a time limit, for instance, I have witnessed a time where I think some needed something to be done. I can't be exact on it, and said we need this to be done in the next 90 days. Considering that's administration, at times the administration might be confronted with a lot of challenges that they are solving at that current moment. Now your position has been, if you say this, it should be done immediately.
Well, because the right to education is a constitutional right. The right to education is guaranteed under Article 6 of the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. It is guaranteed under the African Chapter on Human and People's Rights. It is also guaranteed under Article 26 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The right to education is a universal right, and Liberia is a signatory to these international protocols that I mentioned. So, if the government fail to provide education for the students or fail to provide education for our citizens, what do you expect the student education panel to do? We engage you into a diplomatic dialogue. We say, oh, there are issues confronting students. We want you to cater to this. We give you time to address the issue. But the problem in this country is that people don't see the concerns of people as being legitimate. Once engaged into actions, they term you as being violent, they term you as being opposition, and that is very wrong. That is very wrong.
Do you consider at times when your concerns are in, does the Student Unification Party take into consideration that the administration at times could be challenged with so many other issues that prevent at times certain things you want to happen at that very moment?
Well, we are aware that the university is challenged, but it is quite unfortunate under the presidencies of Mr. Julius Arones, the current president. He does not acknowledge that, only because doing so will temper with his job or will lead to him losing his job. We are aware that university is challenged. If you go on the campuses of a university now, for you to have access to the Bible as a journalist, you will be made to pay a sum of $20 Liberian. Sometimes you will go on campus while students are on campus. Between the hour of 12, 1, 2, the Bible is closed. So when students want to use the Bible, where do they go? Where do they go? It is very embarrassing. It's very embarrassing on the campuses of the University of Liberia. But despite that, the administration don't want to acknowledge that they are challenged. So the Student Unification Party, as an institution that is committed to seeking the welfare of the student masses, is left with no alternative but to champion the cause of the students. And that is why you see sometimes we engage into these actions. But like I said, the Student Unification Party believes in diplomacy. Before we engage into radical actions, we go through all of the diplomatic means. We try to exhaust them. If the administration refuses to listen, then is the time that we go radical. And the right to protest, it is a constitutional right.
Of course,
it is guaranteed under Article 17 of the Constitution. So I don't know why people are often angry when the Student Unification Party try to exercise
sometimes
constitutional right.
You want to take into consideration at times your protest, your protest affect the learning activities on campus. Why is it is a right to protest? It is the next person right as well to acquire education. So at the time you are protesting, sometimes it causes hindrance to learning activities on the campus.
So the Student Unification Party,
do you acknowledge that you at times is in violation of
no,
constitution?
Like I said,
how do you defend that?
So before the Student Unification Party engages into protest, it is on the basis of the issues that are confronting the students. Sometimes the students come to, like, the Student Unification Party is squarely on the basis of the Politburo, the Central Committee that is responsible for making decisions in the absence of General Congress. So you have the various colleges, that for business college, you have two representatives that is serving at the level of the Central Committee. So when the students of the University of Liberia are confronted with issues, what they do is that they engage the various representatives or the various central committees or SUP, informing them that we are being confronted with certain issues, and it is obvious that there is no institution on this campus that has the courage or the temerity to champion our plight. So therefore, we want you as SUP to champion our cause. The students come to us to champion our cause. We don't just wake up. We don't just wake up because we want to cause chaos on the campuses. No. Most of our actions are actions that are sanctioned by the students. That is why before the SUP engages into protest action, they inform the university authority, they inform the relevant stakeholders that we are engaging. So SUP does not just wake up and go and start protesting around. It is the students' plight that you are championing. And the students are in favor of that. Most often they are in favor of that.
And then we're going to move down to our discussion. There are lots of issues in recent time we have observed on the University of Liberia campus, ranging from the most recent the violence action that went on between the Student Unification Party and Mosrado District 8 lawmaker Honorable Akaros Moses Gray which eventually resulted to the University of Liberia suspending all student politics on the campus. Firstly, you want to give us a narration about what went wrong at the time?
Well, you know, like I said, SOUP is a radical institution. And for the record, SOUP has been championing the cause for the masses of Liberian people. And so, in recent times, students of the University of Liberia has made it an obligation, and we must register these are conscious students of the University of Liberia, and that's SOUP is. But whenever something is done on campus, all people perceive that it is SOUP, because without mentioning SOUP, they don't feel comfortable. So, in recent times, the conscious students of the University of Liberia has made it an obligation to ensure that they boo state criminals and state looters. It was demonstrated a few days ago when the U.S. sanctioned same as Serena Seaforth visited the campus. He was booed by conscious students of the University of Liberia.
Is that group different from the Student Unification Party?
Of course, it's different. The conscious students are there, you know, ordinary university students.
But they are members of the party as well.
No, they are not members of SOUP. They are students of the University of Liberia.
One of the students that was suspended for that action is a member of your student group.
Yeah,
no, I just want to set the record straight.
We'll get it.
I just want to set the record straight.
Okay.
That person, one Prince, is a member of your party, and perhaps he holds a position within your party. How can you exempt your members from the conscious-minded student that you spoke of?
So like you ask a question for me to clearly explain to you what transpired, right? Or what have led to the recent, let's say, violence action on the campus of the University of Liberia. And that is what I'm doing. So like I said, the conscious students have been consistently booing state looters and state criminals. So a few days ago, Serena Seaforth visited the campus. He was booed, of course. But Andrea Howard Taylor visited the campus and she was also booed. Samuel Tue and that of Nathaniel Mangue also visited the campus. They were booed, and on general reasons. They were booed. But recently, there's a guy called Aloysius Howard. He works in the office of
the finance
minister. He came at the campus, and normally, you know, the University of Liberia campus is very vulnerable. That campus is very vulnerable. Anyone can enter. Whether you are a student, you are not a student, you have access to the campus. And so he went on the campus. He went to the student center and started to consume some alcoholic beverages. And he was very drunk and he started to misbehave on the students that were in the student center, especially our females. So on the basis of that, some of the students that were there said, but Aloysius, you cannot come here on our campus and misbehave on our sisters. So definitely you must leave the campus. And having been in a very in a state of drunkenness, the students started to escorting the conscious students. So the brother was escorted peacefully to his car, and he entered his car. He left. Only a few minutes after, for you to post that he was attacked. He was attacked. I want to hold
Harris,
I want to hold that great issue.
Question. I want to hold you there quickly.
Yeah.
Let us clear the airwave on this allegation you have made against Aloysius. According to you, as per the account you just provided, that Aloysius was under the influence of alcohol, and his actions perhaps started to misbehave.
Of course.
How can we reconcile that with the fact that Aloysius, knowing very well, he's presumed to the finance minister, and his level with the CDC government, and going in an open area such as the University of Liberia and consume alcoholic beverages beyond his limit that led to him perhaps misbehaving on students. And at a certain point again, I'm hearing you that he himself entered his car and drove away.
Of course, he was escorted by the students.
How a man that was under the influence of alcohol was misbehaving at a certain point in time is able to drive his car outside of a place? I mean, we're trying to understand the truth in that.
It is obvious. It is obvious. There are on many occasions there are people who have consumed alcohol and get in a car and drive and go away. It is clear. And so the guy came. After the students tried to escort him to leave the campus, he entered his car and go. Only a few minutes later, for him to post that he was attacked and he was assaulted on the campus. You are assaulted on the campuses of the University of Liberia. And if you go and check that video, It was Voice of Liberia. It was Voice of Liberia that carried on that recording.
carried on.
Go and look at that video to see whether a stone was thrown at Aloysius Howard car. Go and check the video. There was nothing of such. Even the issue that you are raising of him being assaulted. If you check the video, you cannot see such. So because of that, Askar Gray.
Do you see that?
Askar Gray
at him at the time. Was it a playing at him at the time?
No, who is Aloysius Howard? He's a nobody. The Student Unification Party consider Aloysius Howard as a nobody. He's a nobody. So we don't care about him. Who is Aloysius Howard? But because of that action, Askar Gray now, a lawmaker who should be using his power that is granted him to invite the university authority to come on to go at Capitol Hill to explain what is it that there have been some level of maybe disturbance, as you term it, on the campuses, but he did not do that. What he did was to go into the ghettos, recruited all of the hardcore criminals in this country as the means of coming to show supremacy, as a means of coming to challenge the students of the University of Liberia. And if you go and see the video that day when Mr. Gray visited the campus, you will see that Askar Gray was escorted by thugs. And the Student Unification Party made it clear that the visitation of Askar Gray on the campus was to brutalize militants of the Student Unification Party as well as students. And Mr. Gray said he was coming on the campus to have lunch. On that day that he visited the campus, student center was closed. All of the entertainment center on campus was closed. There was nowhere for you to go and have his lunch. But he did that as a means of coming to inflict wounds on the students.
It was another way interpreted. At a certain point in time, I listened to some folks from the camp of Representative Grave that the launch in particular that he spoke of was a political launch, if you may want to refer to it as way. That his presence on the campus had brought some level of changes in the way you guys have conducted yourselves, on the basis of the conscious students that you spoke of, on the aspect of bullying officials of government, past and present officials. That according to him wasn't uncalled for. And so there is a need that he visited, especially the University of Liberia sits within his district.
Of course.
And so when there are happenings at times, he want to intervene as a lawmaker so as to ensure the right things are done. But this is the thing. Prior to Gray's visit on the campus on that fateful Monday, the Student Unification Party has still framed and said on immigration to go out of campus.
No.
Was that a right decision from your political institution to stop a Liberian, regardless of their status or society, from entering the campus?
So it is important that we clear this misinformation that is circulating in the public that the Student Unification Party stop or they ban Mr. Askar Gray from entering the university campus. That is very wrong. And in fact, it is misleading. In the Student Unification Party press release prior to Mr. Gray's visitation on the campus, the Student Unification Party said that we will be on the campus and we are going to have our rally. The Student Unification Party organized a rally for Monday. Because normally there have been a series of issues that the Student Unification Party has engaged in this country. The issue of the July 26 protest, the issue of the August 24 protest. Since then, the government have refused to adhere to the petition of the Student Unification Party. On the basis of that, coupled with the recent killing or the recent murder of the daughters of the former chief justice. Yeah. So on the basis of that, the Student Unification Party thought it was to organize a rally action so that they can inform the masses of the Liberian people of the way the CDC government is proceeding on the presidency of George Weah. And that was exactly what we did. We did not ban Askar Gray from entering the campus. How can we ban Askar Gray when we know that Askar Gray is a lawmaker, and in fact it is a state grade? And aside from that, it is his constitutional right, guaranteed by Article 13 of the Constitution, to make movement in any part of Liberia. How can we ban him? So there go forth that the Student Unification Party did not ban Askar Gray. What we said in our press release was that we are going to organize our rally so that the students, masses can join us to inform the world that the CDC government has failed the Liberian people. The CDC government has failed to protect the Liberian people. Therefore, Mr. Weah.
Fast forward, we move now. Gray is on his way to the University of Liberia campus. Give her what happened thereafter.
And so, prior to Gray, like we said, we issued a statement calling our students, calling the Liberian masses to come to a rally. And Mr. Gray, in fact, prior to his visitation, he said he was going to have lunch. But when he started to receive condemnation from his colleagues and the of the public, he did not try to somersault. He said, in fact, he's not even going for lunch. He is going for his lunch, but also he will be raising awareness for...
Yeah, for the biometric voter process.
Yes. And the Student Unification Party saw that as an attack, like we said. And so we're very peaceful. Go and watch the video. In fact, the campus was very peaceful until Askara Gray entered the campus. It is unfortunate that my phone has gone off. I'm going to show you videos of some of the people that Askara Gray brought on the campus to help peaceful students, to help militants of the Student Unification Party.
How do you demonstrate that there were no action that the guys were basically at the time they entered?
So Harris,
we saw some members of your group as well.
Harris,
listen, this is the thing, right? Let's establish the fight that perhaps you want to say great action was a pre-calculated one.
Of course,
on the terms of the student, on the Student Unification Party.
Of course,
but you also want to establish that at a certain point in time, right? Members of your group as well were retaliating.
It was
to Gray that eventually led to the throwing of stones and different actions as well.
No, Brother Harris, but as a journalist,
there are photos.
Brother Harris, you need to be as a journalist.
Listen, there are photos,
balanced.
And I'm balanced.
You are that balanced.
I'm balanced in the front.
You saw that.
Thing, right?
You saw that prior to Gray entering the campus, the university was very peaceful. The militants are super.
That of which we are not discouraged. We can't discourage.
Brother Harris, let me to name a point, please.
Go ahead. That of which you can't discourage on the platform.
The militants of SUP, all they were doing were chanting their slogans, raising their battle cries, having conversation with the students. I even had a conversation with the media that day. I spoke to the press. The propaganda chair spoke to the press. But when Gray entered the campus, that was the time the entire campus degenerated, because Gray has brought with him hardcore criminal and thugs. I don't know. For me, I don't know most of these guys. But you are aware of the new Mustafa.
Go ahead.
These are hardcore criminals we are talking about here.
I know.
These were people that escorted Mr. Gray on the campus. So if Mr. Gray wants to come on the campus to have lunch, why is it that he cannot invite the Liberia National Police to escort him on the campus? In fact, he could have come with ordinary citizens. But to bring criminals, people that were holding, people that have knives, people that have sticks into their hands, to bring them on the campus, you want the students to be there? So because of that, the students started to escape. And the moment the guys entered the campus, they already had the calculation that those boys will SUP, they feel that they can challenge our regime. So in fact, we are going for them exclusively. So the moment they entered the campus, they started targeting militants of the party. I nearly got caught on that day. I nearly got caught on that day. Yes, a guy from Great Camp.
How did you escape?
Oh, the Student Unification Party, is a revolutionary party, like we said. And we are taught the tactics of appearing, disappearing, and subsequently reappearing.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear from you.
When I saw the terrain, the way the terrain was becoming very hostile, I had to disengage tactically as a leader of the party. Because I cannot sit as a leader of the party and I'm captured. So it means that who will give account of the communists? Most of the communists account for activity as chairman on the Bureau of Mobilization and Recruitment. I recruit them, I mobilize them and bring them to come for party activity.
You want to speak to quickly, it is important we established it.
Sure.
Earlier on, you want to say that Gray entered the campus, the entire campus became hostile.
Of course.
And there are various actions, the campus students are running heads to scatter.
Of course.
The supporters of Gray as well, and the whole place became disarray.
But
you cannot take away the fact that your members as well were retaliating to the situation at the time.
So even if our members, even if I
you don't want to take away the fact,
even if I will agree with you,
so you cannot say I have not been balanced on the conversation.
But Harris, even if I will agree with you that our members or militants or SUP or conscious students of the University of Liberia or ordinary students retaliated, it was because of the hostility that is sought.
Okay.
They went on the campus, the guys entered the campus, they looted the students' property. They looted the student properties. But we want to say, Gray came with the arrogance of challenging the supremacy of the Student Unification Party. This man was booed by the very students. The very students that he came, quote unquote, to have lunch with, he was booed by the students. The videos are there. Go and see the video. And so the Student Unification Party, we see that as an accomplishment of our agenda. Because Gray was booed. Obviously, he said, you come on the campus, you will not be booed. The students booed Mr. Gray. And it was on that basis that he left from the campus. But we must say, yeah, Brother Harris, that what transpired on the 13th was a very sorrowful day. After I disappeared, when I saw the video, it was very much scary. It was very much scary.
Was that what you wanted to achieve on that Monday?
No, we actually went there, like we said, to have our mass rally, with the students, to inform them about the issues in the country, but it went the way it is. But we want to say here that the Student Unification Party remains committed to championing or executing our historical mandate, will not be deterred by talks and hooligans of the regime. If the regime they should go and bring a U.S. Marine to come and challenge the Student Education Party will be here. This is our country. This country belongs to all of us. It does not belong to Mr. Weah alone. It does not belong to seditions. It belongs to the masses of the Liberian people.
Despite what happened at the University of Liberia campus on that 13th day of March, when Greer entered and left, most Liberians were concerned about the safety of the students.
Of course.
And not until at the time they saw it, Representative Yeke Kolubai, I visited the campus again, and to the disappointment of many Liberians, they saw the Student Unification Party rubbing shoulder with Honorable Yeke Kolubai, a man at a certain point in time who the Student Unification Party has branded. And so when those that were sitting home and watching and saw your memos, reconciling with Honorable Yeke Kolubai at that time, they felt the need that you were being sponsored by the opposition at one point in time. And secondly, the question your advocacy that why will you reconcile with an individual character like Honorable Yeke Kolubai?
So, like I said, this first day, we must establish that when Gray went on the campus, there was hostility. But when Honorable Yeke Kolubai went on the campus, Yeke Kolubai did not harass students. Those that escorting, they did not harass students. He went, he spoke to the media, and he left. And you are saying that Honorable Yeke Kolubai was hailed by the Student Unification Party. That is your argument, right?
That is the argument in the public.
So, SUP is a revolutionary institution that operates on the fundamental principle of dialectics. In dialectics, the various laws, there are 3 laws of dialectics. You have the unity and struggle of the opposite. You have the transformation from quantity to quality and vice versa. And you have the negation of the negation. And so the Student Unification Party was operating on the first law of the dialectics, unity and struggle of the opposite. That is, regardless of my maybe disagreement with you, regardless of your disagreement with me, once it is on issues that is very much genuine, we can collaborate. We can collaborate, of course. And so, Akara Gray has brought his talks on the campus. They have brutalized militants of the party. They have confiscated the properties of students. So, as Akara Gray, Honorable Yeke Kolubai is coming on the campus. Do you want militant of the Student Education Party, or you want a student of the University of Liberia to run away from Yeke Kolubai? We will embrace Yeke Kolubai. We embrace Yeke Kolubai because consistently Yeke Kolubai has been speaking for the students. He has been speaking for the masses of the Liberian people since he was elected, since his election in 2017. He has been consistently speaking for the people. So we don't see Yeke Kolubai as a threat because he did not attack us. So the students embrace Yeke Kolubai. It is in conformity with the laws of dialectics, like I said. And so if you want to get a clearer understanding, it means that you need to come to the Student Unification Party headquarters so that we can give you...
I don't need to come there because the clarity you are providing is not for me.
It is for the public.
It's for those listening. But this is the thing. I believe in your advocacy, he remain unbending.
Of course.
No matter how the challenges unfold.
Yeah.
So when Liberians watching, at the time saw Yeke Koruba. I mean, engaging, sitting, I mean, having that conversation with the students and the Student Unification Party as a whole, then it left the Liberians to wonder, is this not the same Student Unification Party that has stood vocal against the way things are going on in this country? Is this not the same Student Unification Party that have criticized all of those guys for being in the wrong? How is it now that this same very institution that was bent on criticizing those individuals is now rubbing shoulder with them? Even if no matter how the situation may be at that time, you could remain framed and stand on your position. But, so the fact establishes that perhaps you might have been, Honorable Koruba might have been at a certain point in time being one of those that was feeding you with ideas as to how you approach the issue.
No, so again, you must, if you get retrospect, prior to the announcement of, after Gray made his announcement that he was going to visit the campus, there were some students that also planned to invite Jega Koloba should have made an appearance prior to that incident to come on the campus to discuss with the students, to discuss about the national budget. There were some students, I don't know them, but I heard the information that they were inviting Honorable Yega Koloba to come and have conversation with the students. And so when that incident popped up, Yega Koloba said, the only time I'll go on the campus if Grace goes on the campus. If Grace goes on the campus, I must say I will go on the campus. And so it was because Gray went on the campus, that was how Yega Koloba came on the campus that day. And we must say he was never embraced by the Student Unification Party. After the guys came, they terrorized the students, they terrorized militants, they beat up, the Student Unification Party disappeared. Like I told you about the tactics. We disappeared and the party appeared as CEO. But the chairman went and made some statement along with the Secretary General of the party. And it was there that we saw Yega Koloba. Yega Koloba went to greet the chairman of the party. So when Yega Koloba go to greet the chairman or should the chairman or should say, I don't want to speak to Yega Koloba go away. No. Yega Koloba went to greet the chairman. There's a photo that is currently on Facebook. Yeah. It was when Yega Koloba went to greet the chairman of the party for standing tall for the Liberian people. So it was in that process that they took the photo. They say Yega Koloba.
And they said mission
Koloba did not make any statement.
And they said mission accomplished.
Who says so?
That Yega the handshake demonstrates that mission.
Who told you?
We want to move on now. Lastly, before we go to the phone, I was going to take just 2-3 minutes on this discussion. I've been told that you have smoked a peace pipe with the student, how do you call it? The student association. That's the Student Union University of Liberia campus, and that of your organization, the Student Unification Party, have smoked the peace pipe. You have allowed for peace to reign on the campus. You care to tell us about that negotiation?
So, Brother Harris, like I said to you, part of our manifesto, we have peace. Like I said, the Student Unification Party is a peaceful institution. But we must inform the public that the quote-unquote, I don't know, peace pipe that was smoked a few days ago, it was an activity that was occurred now by OSU. OSU are already planning activities, even prior to the great incident. The great incident. OSU has already planned activities to bring students from various political parties and other stakeholders to come and have conversation with the university students to remain peaceful or to engage peacefully as we head to the 2023 elections. So that has already been in the pipe until that incident occurred. It was scheduled for the 21st. It started from I think the 20th or from the 21st to the 23rd. It was already in the pipe prior to that incident. So the Student Unification Party, like we say, as a peaceful institution, all of the various political parties were invited to be in attendance, and the Student Unification Party were also in attendance. And the guys brought a quote-unquote, peace pipe. And the Student Unification Party, as part of our manifesto piece, we stand, of course. We stand. The problem at that university have never been soup. It is the authority, and it is those that preside over the state. They are to be blamed for the consistent violence on the campuses. Like, for example, let me take you back. March 31st, you are aware of the coaches incident when Amos Sawyer funeral memorial service was being held at Capitol Hill. Mayor Kochi won that campus. Our militants were brutalized. They were injured. And the administration, quote unquote, launched an investigation into that matter from March 31st to now. There have been no report or no outcome of the investigation. July 26th, our militants were brutalized again by elements of the CDC COP when we launched the Face the Country protest. Very peaceful. We went at the U.S. Embassy. Our militants were brutalized. Ifa Komisisulu was disgraced on that day. August 24th, of course. Yeah, well, all of this, there have been no investigation. Only because a few days ago, you have Aloysius House, 712 bear ball were on the campus, and due to what transpired because you were bullied by the students, the administration went to suspend our man Prince Bayou. We must say that Prince Bayou, in fact, was never on campus when that incident occurred, because the incident occurred on a Tuesday, right? It was on a Tuesday.
Yeah, I can recall. And on a Tuesday.
It was on a Tuesday.
I hope to confirm
and Prince Bayou goes to school on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But the administration is saying that in fact he was the ringleader. I don't know on what basis.
Perhaps I've seen the video. By you having classes is different for you going to campus every day.
No, but
you can't take away that. And
it is
so
true.
perhaps they must see in the video.
It is true, but Harris, but actually Prince Bayou was not there. But even if we want to agree that he was there, for you to suspend the man, he must be given a due process. The University of Liberia teaches public administration 306. That is administrative law. In administrative law, we are taught about the doctrine of natural justice. It says that the first is that man cannot be judged in his own cause. So, for example, if you are a lawyer and there's a case involving you, you have to recuse yourself.
Yeah.
Then the second one is that no man must be condemned or held who is in conformity with due process. But unfortunately, Brother Prince Bayou was never given.
What is your organization doing towards that situation?
So we are engaging with the administration, and in fact, we see the suspension of the brother as illegal. It is a wish one. It is a mandate that executed or that emanated from Mr. Weah as a means of silencing the critical voices on campuses.
Why would President Weah be after Prince? Prince is just, but Prince is just amongst. Prince might not be a major figure.
He's a conscious student. He's a conscious student.
President Weah will be looking forward to be after. So I don't know. But let's go to the phone line 0770-907-907. 088-0907-907. We'll take a few calls, folks. At 10 o'clock, we'll call this conversation a day. Good morning, quickly. Let's hear you.
Good morning.
Go ahead, live. 30 seconds, you gotta go.
My name is T. Momo Masakwe. I'm from Darana Street, Trenchtown, Coconut Plantation Community. And I listened to your studio guest. He did present it very well. And I must also condemn the action of the certain lawmaker in Honorable Akawa's Moses Gray on that day, because I saw friends that I know from Trenchtown who was part of that thing that day, and I didn't expect it from them.
Okay, we'll take another call. Good morning.
Good morning to you, journalists. Good morning to the membership.
Good morning. Good morning. Quickly, let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Odysseus Mobile, and I serve as Central Committee of the Student Unification Party. The leader provided information very well. Like he said, the Student Unification Party is a very peaceful institution. Akawa's Gray and all of government officials, they are always seeing the Vanguard Party as a threat to their survivability. And the Vanguard Party will never be deterred in exercising a historical role. We are the ones who have been deprived access to education.
Thank you. We take another call. The calls are so many. We can't keep any line. Good morning. Quickly.
We are going to call.
Quickly, your prayer.
Okay, thank you. For me, as kind of going to camera for me, he's a leader. He's wrong by going to camera be friends to go have long with students. Why you couldn't go Abidjan to have long when people in one family got married in France?
Thank you. We talk to this person. Good morning.
Good morning.
Quickly, let's hear you. Too many calls. Okay.
Just to make my point very quick. I listened to your guest studio. All of what they are saying, they strike a certain point. You can't be in authority and keep harassing students. We are going towards election. Should be very careful. The government should be very careful. Everything they are pointing towards is Koji, President Weah Koji is unprofessional. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The government should be very careful. We'll talk to this person. Good morning.
Hello.
You live.
Good morning.
Quickly, let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Matthew. I'm one of the students from Central Campus.
Quickly, Matthew.
I will come in, see there, the thing I'm talking, nothing there is true. We see the that soup will be canceled for the University Campus.
Thank you. We'll see to it as will be canceled. He is against the Student Unification Party. We'll take just a call. Yeah, we have to get back to the studio again. I'm being pressed with time from this on this conversation. We'll take just a call and we return to him. Good morning.
Good morning.
Quickly, let's hear you.
Okay, this is Gabriel calling from Power.
Quickly, Gabriel.
You know what the major drive down there? I have to instead of different. You know when we're on it, think I read to the you have to find what you think.
Thank you. Good morning. This will be our last caller. The conversation is so interesting. Oh my word, Prince, we are Augustine. We can take any call. I'm impressed with time. Just a minute. We have the two of us to make our final word. So let's hear you. Listen to all of the callers. Almost everyone reconcile with you. Quickly, what do you have to say?
So, Brother Harris, I must sincerely express my gratitude for affording the platform to the Student Unification Party to come and discuss issues relative to the forward march of our country. We want to appreciate you for that. And we also want to appreciate the chairman of the Student Unification Party for granting us the opportunity. But there is no need for me to respond to the guy that called from Fenner because I think someone has already responded to him. But we want to say here that the Student Unification Party remains committed to championing the plight of the Liberian people. And I would like to conclude with this very brilliant quotation from Ineso Sheikh Guevara. He said, and I quote, "Wherever death may surprise us, let us be most welcome if our battle cry has reached one receptive ear and another arm reach out to pick up our arm. Viva, sub viva." Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Okay. And this is all the time we got to be with you on this platform. This is Good Morning Liberia. On the voice of Liberia 104.1. It has been a pleasant time. Many thanks to all of you that left a comment of a live video. We don't have the time to read out your comments, but we appreciate you wholeheartedly. And those of you that follow via the radio, make your comments, you call in. And those of you that try calling, indeed, Good Morning Liberia returns tomorrow morning. Until then, this has been Harris S. Better presentation. That's good morning and thanks for following.